thank you all for coming out today. We don't have electricity out here, otherwise we'd have a microphone and speaker, but that's coming with the park. So again, today marks a very special day and is part of a continuing effort that's been going on for a number of years. Today we're going to unveil what we call Phase 1 of a 3-part project for our Fairborn Military Veterans Memorial. Today we're going to unveil the 6-sided obelisk. The 6 sides are for each of the branches of the military along with the Coast Guard. And within the next year, 2024, we'll have the brick pavers and the benches out here. And then the 3rd phase will be walls, 3-foot walls with slanted tops with images of Fairborn Right Pat veterans who have been a part of our community since the inception of this area. So the brick project that will be done a little later in the spring, we just happen to have some brick forms if you would like one. We'll also have some at the reception down at the Military Museum. So the walls and the bricks again are dependent on fundraising. So I'm going to turn it over to Joanne, who is our co-chair for the committee.
Thank you. Real loud, he said, okay. I'm going to try to recognize special guests that I've got the list, but to me, you're all special, okay? Some of them are looking because they know I'm a crier. Fairborn Mayor Paul Keller. Executive Director Tom Kirsch. From the Miami Valley Communications Council. Judge Beth Capella. Where are you, Judge? Judge? Good, okay, Judge. All right, we have Jake. He said it's like a bagel. He said Jagel, and it's the Congressman Turner's office. Yeah, raise your hand, Jake. Back there. Guy back there, okay? I am blessed to say we have AMVETS 444 of Fairborn, the VFW 657 the motorcycle group CVMA, the VFW 6861, and the American Legion 526.
Very good.
We also have the another biker group here, Boyd and Becky Glidewell from Goldwing Road Riders. If there's anybody else that didn't give me their name that I missed.
U.S. Veterans Motorcycle Club, Fairborn, back here, or Ohio.
Is Rick here?
Back there in the back, you read it? U.S. Veterans of Ohio. Anyone who is featured on the memorial, will you please stand and wave? Last but not least, County Commissioner Dick Gould. Over there hiding behind him. There's a little red hat on the Former Mayor Joan Stocktown. And we do appreciate everybody that has come out and taken time out of your valuable schedule to be here. And now, Dan.
A project like this obviously takes money, and we've been very fortunate to have some major donors. Now, we're not going to be able to list everybody who's been a donor, but we wanted to recognize a few of our major donors. Number one, Marcia Horton, who could not be here today. Dayton Hospice gave us a very large donation when we first started. The Fairborn Lions Club, members here, raise your hand. Fairborn Rotary Club. Raise your hand. Rena and Jim Leatherman. Roger and Kay Sloan. And then we want to especially thank the Greene County Commissioners who got us an ARPA grant, and we really did appreciate that. Now again, many of you have been donors, and we could not do this without your donations. But we want you to know, let's give a hand for all of our donations.
Yes.
Okay. Committee members, all the members, please stand and wave your arms. And these are the hard workers that make this possible.
Okay, a project like this takes people who are experts at building. So we want to recognize the companies that actually played a role in this. Number one is Laser Image and Design out of Lebanon, Ohio. Jim Smith. Now Jim made me promise we wouldn't have him come up and speak, so we're not. He threatened to double the price if we did. But I think once you see this memorial, you're going to be just amazed at the quality work that his company did. Well, to put that obelisk on the ground, we had to have a foundation. So we are very fortunate that we have a local company, Trims Maintenance, Matt Trimbuck. They were out here when it was cold and miserable. This is sitting on a 5-foot deep foundation that they dug out here. Because this thing weighs how much, Jim?
22,500.
22,000 pounds? The obelisk weighs 22,000 pounds. So we had to have a good foundation. So Trims, thank you again for your great work. We also want to thank the Miami Valley Military History Museum because they have been involved in this project, helping us out, giving us a place to meet, etc. So real quick, because I know you don't want to hear us talking, you want to see this. A quick history of the memorial. We started talking about this, Joanne and I, back in 2016, and we formed a committee. And they have been true to the committee since then. And we have been meeting every month, sometimes more than once a month, to make this happen and make it a reality. We started meeting in the old American Legion building, then we met at the Senior Center, and in the last couple of years we've been meeting at the Miami Valley Military History Museum, which is right down the street. So we are very grateful to those organizations for giving us a place to meet. And at this time, we're going to do a ribbon cutting. So we're going to ask John Snow, Mary Kaplan, and Rena Leatherman to come up along with the committee. We're going to do a ribbon cutting, and then we're going to do the unveiling right after the ribbon cutting.
I think you're on the wrong side.
I got my copy, just in
Oh, I'm sorry.
We're going to ask for a countdown from the audience, 3, 2, 1, and then John will cut. So are we ready?
3, 2, 1.
You know what?
Ladies and gentlemen, phase 1 of our Veterans Memorial. Go.
Okay, I get closing comments, and I'm going to try not to cry, okay? But I want you to know, 9 long years, this group here that I've worked with, him especially, has worked very hard and diligently, hours on end. But you know, our spouses have really supported us with our friends and family, and we're very, very grateful. And I want you to know that each and every one of you, this is special, this is sacred, and we're honoring our vets, and we're so blessed. And anybody that wants to contribute or help us out in any way, shape, or form, whether it be cookies or money, we take it.
All right. We ask that hopefully all of you can go down to the Military Museum. They have a reception area set up. We would like you to please walk around the obelisk if you have questions about the people or the items that are on it. We tried to focus on local people that are on the obelisk and also local equipment, etc. On the Air Force side right here, all of those airplanes are airplanes that at one time were stationed at Wright Tech, starting with the Wright Flyer. So please take a look at it, walk around, ask the committee members questions. But again, thank you for coming out.
I want to say one more thing. The father of one of these on here was with General Patton, Hills on Wheels, and she made it a point that she wanted to see her dad one more time. And so she's here with her husband, Betty and David Ray. I was blessed to be able to go to a school next to the base where a lot of our classmates went from a cap and gown to Vietnam War. We have many family and friends and neighbors that went to war, whether it be World War II, Korea, or Vietnam. Living so close to the base, I'd seen other cities honoring their veterans, and we didn't have anything. So I went before the council and I told them, I said, why don't we have a military veterans memorial? We need to honor the vets that have given their life and their freedom for us. And nothing was said or nothing was done. Then I got a call from Dan Kirkpatrick, and he said, how would you like to co-chair and get a meeting together and go ahead and we will start and get a military veterans memorial. And I told him I needed this. I said, just as a wife and a husband and one of them dies, they have a headstone and a place to go to talk to their loved ones. Just as the honor flight takes them to Washington, D.C., they've got the wall. They've got the names on the wall. They've got a place to go to reconnect with their friends or their loved ones that they've lost. It is needed in this town for someone to have a place to go and to be comforted and knowing that their family and their friends are close by, even if it's just in an insignificant little way. And I have a cousin that was in the military in Vietnam. He was running wire, and he said if they had looked up and saw him running the wire, he wouldn't be here. He would have been dead. I have a classmate I went to school with that came home in a box. I have two friends that were classmates that joined the buddy system to go together, to be with each other. One walked home and one came in a box. They still talk about this. It's still a feeling of hurt. I have two cousins that went in a buddy system, brothers in the Navy. His brother's dead. He bought 2 bricks. He says, I want us to be together forever, for the kids and the grandkids to come see and visit us. It's significant and just a little tribute. You know, it's a place that they can come, that they can share with their family and their friends. It helps them to deal with the hurt. A lot of them didn't get the respect they deserved when they came back. And it's needed. This is so needed to let them know in this community that we do honor, that we do respect our veterans, and we appreciate them. And so any veteran that's going from here forth won't have to worry about the shame that some of them have suffered coming back. And it broke my heart because I know a lot of veterans, and I just wanted to do a little something to get this to where they can have comfort and closure and move on, and they can share with their family and friends. And this was the only way I had of doing it. I've been very blessed. We started out with a lot of them, but they fell by the wayside on our committee. But we have had about 25 tough, hang tight, do or die on this committee, and the support of their family and friends that wanted to see this through to the end. There's been illnesses, there's been sickness, and there's been one that has died. But we're still going there, and we're getting it finished. And today, to see all the groups, the military groups, the veteran groups, the individuals that were crying because their husbands were on the wall or their fathers were on the wall, it was so worth it.
I understand that this is a beginning, that there are plans to turn this area into a park, and that this is significant because it has taken some time to get this in the public space, in the public's eye, so that it can sort of be used as a symbol, an incentive for going forward with this park. Can you speak about that next phase?
Yes, we knew when we started. COVID put us behind 2 years, and then the prices went up and stuff, and a lot of people, because it wasn't an instant fix, you can't just run out there and spend a lot of money. We did ours the hard way. We went through door to door, we went through events, we went through fundraisers, we went through donations, all kinds of things to get this. Some businesses contributed, some of them wanted to wait and see. It is a tax, a 1099 tax deductible, they can do that. But it's getting the word out to where people want to see this and get involved in it. And now that we've got the block, the big, huge obelisk, and they can see it's real, this makes it now. It's hitting hearts, it's hitting homes. And I think now that our funding will get here a little bit faster, and we can finish our steps that we started in, because we just didn't have enough to do it all at once. We've been slowly gathering the money and the publicity and the stuff, but we're hoping now, with everybody seeing it and the awe of it and the donations, will start coming in and people will step up and say, I want to be a part of this community and part of being a support for the veterans.
It's been quite an honor to be able to be on the committee with everybody and to be able to get this far with the obelisk and more to come as we're able to do it. When we first started this, everybody was quite like, well, is this really going to work? And when we started donating money and to get started and everything, it was like everybody got on board and wanted to get this done because of all being close to the base and all of us being veterans. It was, it's like we were a team and trying to get something done for those who had lost their lives and those who are still alive and those that we wanted to honor for their service. So it's just been a journey, and it has been a good journey, and it's just trying to get people to donate and help us get this done completely. We started just on the memorial, but then somebody brought up about, we need to get bricks for those who were missing in action or died, and we thought that would be a very thing to do to remember the people, and that those who were still alive from that family would be able to come and look at that and see when they served and what branch that they served in. So it was just kind of a connection to the whole memorial. I've got a wife of 50 years, and she has supported me for every moment, every minute that I've spent doing this. I married her when I came over here in the service in '72, and every minute that I got to spend, she understood what I had to do and why I wanted to do it. And she's just been a rock that I have leaned on and said, I got to do this. This is something I need to do.
I feel the celebration.
Yeah, when I came home from Vietnam, my little town and the towns around it, they did not celebrate you coming back from overseas. They were more like, why did you go over? Why? How come you're back home? And it was not a good feeling, and you felt like you didn't want to wear your uniform out in public. I did, because I was proud of what I did, but to do what I was supposed to do and to come back was good, because there's some that wasn't able to do it, and it just. I had 3 others that I was in the service with, and we've stayed together since we've all gone out of the service, and it's one's in Pennsylvania, one's in Lebanon, and one's in Missouri. So we just kind of say we're brothers. I just think that, when we started this, we all wanted to do it right the first time. We didn't want to have to, well, we should have done this and we should have done this. We all agreed that this is the way we needed to go, and we wanted everybody to be proud of what we had done, and to be able to say, that's a memorial. That's for our veterans. And if you remember what it looked like at the park when we unveiled it, a lot of people were just at awe as to what we had done to it, and it's just a very dear to my heart.
Well, we're part of the team. We've been doing this not quite 8 years, but the best part of 8 years. And it has changed a lot since our very beginning. Our meeting places, the original site that we were going to put this memorial on, has moved numerous times. It get lost in the shuffle how many times, and now it's in a permanent place. The city owns it, owns the land there, and it's out in the open, and we've gone through many committee meetings and meetings with the stone cutters, and it's really kind of a relief, in a sense, getting it finally put down. Of course, we still have the second and the third operations on this, but we've just been hard-working committee members. I think it'd be the way to say it. What would you say?
I was going to say that Paul has been in it since the beginning. 9 years?
Not quite.
And I haven't been in it as long as the rest of them, but it has been several years, hasn't it? But
4 or 5, yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's been longer than that.
Maybe 6 or 7.
Yeah, 6 or 7, yeah.
Yeah, because I remember we helped decorate the floats for the 4th of July.
Yeah.
And I'm very happy to be a member of the committee, very proud and happy.
Yes, I'm
Yes.
honored to be part of the committee members, especially this close to the finish.
Today, just watching this whole thing unfold is
Yeah.
just amazing. And
was
such a feeling of, I can't even explain
Exuberance.
it. Yeah.
I was truly amazed at all the people that showed up for this event.
Oh yeah, that was wonderful.
We don't have a massive
was-
communications advertising like TV and radios. Of course, we don't have a newspaper anymore, and like that. So I was very refreshing. People out there at least know what's going on. I'd say that for them. But I saw people there that I haven't seen in a great many years. I've been here since '66. And,
I think we were both so happy to see so many people.
oh yeah, nice turnout,
Yeah.
very nice.
Veterans, and I've always said this, you cannot thank them enough.
I
What
agree.
they have done, it always brings tears to my eyes, but yeah, you just can't do enough for them.
My name is Barbara Parsons, and I belong to the Rebecca Galloway chapter of the Daughters of the American Revolution, and they assigned me to this committee. So I've been here since 2016, and I've loved every minute of it. I thought today's ceremony was perfect. Many more people than I expected. We still have to raise some more money, but we've done a lot of fundraising.
Well, it actually started back in probably '85 when I retired, and I got more involved with the city. And then I served 10 years on the city council, 2 of which are deputy mayor. So, I'm on still on about every committee in the Fairborn, city of Fairborn. And this come out, and Joanne Collins and Dan asked me if I'd serve on the committee. I was honored to do so because I'm, really dedicated to making the city the best it can be. And also, since I retired Air Force, also dedicated to honoring the veterans that put their lives on the line all these years. So that's basically how I got involved, and then so I've just kind of kept on it.
How did you go about really that design?
Yeah, basically come up with many meetings discussing it and getting input from the community, and also from some of the service organizations, so that and basically come down to we wanted to put a local flavor, because it's really dedicated to the Fairborn area veterans. Like, we had a lot of photos that people submitted, and then the committee sat down and tried to make sure we covered everybody, and had some local people involved.
What drew me into this project was Dan Kirkpatrick. Dan I received a call one day, and Dan explained to me what he wanted to do, and he asked me if I wanted to be a part of it. And of course, I never say no to Dan. And so I said yes. Yeah. I was Dan's first boss in the military, and we've been friends ever since then, and that was in '79. And I've followed his career. I was fortunate enough to pin his LC leafs on when he was promoted. I got dressed up in my uniform and went over to the hospital and pinned his new leafs on. That was a great occasion for me. And yeah, we've followed each other around for a while, and it's been a great career that he had. Really, real proud of all he's done. Pretty scary to begin with, really, taking on a project like this. And of course, Dan always had this positive attitude towards it. He says there's 35,000 people in Fairborn. If everybody gave a couple of dollars, we'd have enough. But I kept saying, "No, Dan, these people aren't going to give all that money." And but things have come about, yeah. And I know I've got money from my church, and one of the other ladies at the church has donated quite a bit of money also, and so it's come about, and really proud of what we had today, the unveiling of it. It's really impressive. One of the things that we talked about at one time was on one of the benches we have a history of Fairborn, and hopefully school kids will be able to come and will be able to have like a talk, a video, not a video, but a recorded talk on different aspects of the city and the Air Force and Army and all those kind of things.
Right.
Hopefully, so it'll be something we can pass on to the next generation.
Certainly.
And generations beyond that.
This has been truly a team effort. Several of us met, this was more than 7 years ago, just talking about the current memorial that existed in downtown Fairborn. And the problem with it was in the middle of the street, and you couldn't really walk up to it to honor those veterans who it was named for. And the problem was it had been hit by cars several times. And the last time it took out one of the whole wings, and a piece of the granite flew through the air and took out the front door of the Chamber of Commerce building. So it was at that point that a group of us really sort of said, you know, we've got to find a better location. We're definitely a military town. We're right next to the base. To go to the commissary, the BX, or for health care, you go through Fairborn. And so we wanted to have a more substantial, but more importantly, a more available Veterans Memorial, where people could honor and respect the many veterans that have served from Fairborn, Bath Township, and the surrounding area. So this committee formed. We started meeting in the old American Legion building. We started looking at locations. We talked about various places throughout Fairborn. We considered several different places, talked to the city about it, and the city had good reasons not to put the memorial at one place or not to put it at another. And one person suggested the area out in front of the old Central School on Central Avenue. And I happened to know the owner of that and contacted him, and he was very supportive of the idea of building the memorial in front of the building. It would have been right next to Central Avenue, would have been very visible. The downside is there wasn't a lot of parking near it. But what really drove the change in location is the city contacted us and said, would you consider moving just a block away to this big empty field that they were trying to get from the Fairborn City Schools. And it was the old playground for the old Central School. And our committee met, we talked about it, we all agreed that if the city wanted to build a new Fairborn Memorial Park, we should be the centerpiece of that park. We, in the meantime, had been connected with a company called Laser Image and Design out of Lebanon. I had never heard of them. I did some research on them, and wow, what an impressive company. They do veteran memorials for all over the United States. They were just finishing up the Navy SEALs Memorial in Virginia Beach. They were working on several other memorials, including ones in the state of Ohio. We came up with a original design of a 8 foot tall, 8 foot long, 4 foot wide, solid black piece of granite, which they looked at that and they said, that's really boring. And we said, well, what do you got? What do you suggest? So they came up with a 5-sided obelisk, one representing each branch of the service. And then, fortunately, when the U.S. Space Force came along, we had been stalled long enough that we had time to have a 6-sided obelisk instead of a 5-sided. So we're really fortunate. We're one of the first veteran memorials in the country to recognize the U.S. Space Force. So the delays that happened to us turned out to be, you know, when life hands you a lemon, make lemonade. So we were able to get the Space Force. The downside was when the granite quarries reopened all over the world, the price of granite had tripled. So we ended up having to really get aggressive with fundraising. What we ended up doing was scaling back our program. Instead of getting it all done at once, we came up with 3 phases. Phase 1 is the obelisk, which is what we dedicated today. Phase 2 will be ground embedded bricks with people's information on them, and granite etched benches for people to sit on in front of each section of the 6-sided memorial. Hopefully that part will be ready anywhere from January to March. We'll be working on that. And then our ultimate goal is to have a low wall all the way around the entire memorial, about 3 feet tall, with the top part slanted at a 45-degree angle that will have black granite etched pictures of veterans from the Fairborn, Bath Township, Wright Pat area. And we've already been collecting those photos. What we're hoping to do is those photos, once they get etched and placed on the wall, every veteran who's on there, we want them to go through some sort of Veteran Voices program where people in the future, as they come to our Veterans Memorial and see a veteran on one of those laser etched pieces of the wall, whatever the electronic device is at that point, they can go to our website, pull up that image of that veteran, and their Veteran Voices interview will pop up so visitors to that memorial can learn about that veteran's history, where they were stationed, where they were deployed, that kind of thing. So it really will personalize the memorial. That's our third phase. Now we may end up having a fourth phase. We've got several members of our committee, one lady in particular, who really would like to see a bronze eagle on top of the obelisk. And we've had some drawings of that done. It really would be the icing on the cake. So we may end up with a fourth phase to purchase and have a bronze eagle cast be put on top of our memorial. But that's a long-range plan. I've been around to a lot of memorials around here and other communities, and I have not seen one that I think will be as impressive as this one when it's all finished. A lot of communities have done a great job with memorials. I know Dayton is working on a Medal of Honor memorial to recognize those Medal of Honor recipients, and that's certainly something that we should do. But I'm very pleased and very happy with how today's obelisk dedication went. I was worried we'd have 12 people show up. We had well over 100 people show up. A lot of people who have donated, a lot of people who said they will donate now that they've seen it. But it turned out very well today. And I want to put in a very special plug to a man called Robert Kinsis for being the gentleman who put this thing all together with the video. This is going to be a really, really important part of the history of this program. So thank you, Robert.